Entering field work and then editing it are two of the most common things that you'll have to do, whether you're an LMPN AIS coordinator, staff, or even a volunteer. So we're going to take a look at that, but it's going to be pretty basic for the entry because every project or project type has a somewhat different layout in how the forms look. And so to walk through completely one of them, you're better off working with the person who is in charge of that. So for CLMN, they have data entry training. For Clean Boats, Clean Waters, it's available. And for AS monitoring, there's also some different advice and information that you can get from the people who coordinated each of those things. And your AS biologist, of course, can help too. So the best place probably to start for entering fieldwork, provided the project that you're entering it for is in your projects list, is by going to your project list, pick a project. So I'm going to use AS Incident Reports Jefferson County. And then in the task box, I have enter data. When I open it from this position, then the project is actually listed exactly with the project that I want to have listed. If I were to go to submit data, it would actually open the window, or if I was to go to even the find data box and click find, it's going to default to some random project, not the exact one I want to use. So whenever possible, do it from your My Project list. Otherwise, you can do it from the others, but you'll have to make sure you choose the correct project. It's going to default for the collector, so I have to find my own name. I'm in here a few times with different people who I worked with. You can do multiple collectors. So let's say in this case, Jeannie Shear, but I actually want to have myself and someone else. So I'm going to do a group. So I'm going to search for myself first. So I type my name in the search bar and it didn't come up. Maybe if I just put Shear. There I am. AS Outreach Specialist. I'm listed a couple different ways for some reason. I clicked on add and my name was moved down into this create box. And I'm going to enter my friend Nancy, who I know is in SWIMS because she and I do a wave monitoring together, not AS monitoring. There she is. So I'm going to add Nancy and I'm going to create that user group. Now we're both there. And then I'm going to say that we were over at Lake Mills Mill Pond. Let's say we were putting in our kayaks and we stumbled across some stems of yellow iris. So yellow iris blooms in June. So in this example, I'm going to say we were out on June 6th. I was taking a day off. And what did I find? Aquatic invasive species at 10 o'clock in the morning. And this defaults to the correct form for this project. The date stays the same for the start and the end, but notice the end date. The end date, unfortunately, or the end time changes to 11:59. So we were not out that long. We were out until 11. You've got to scroll through all the numbers and then make sure you change your PM default to AM if that's the case. Now, if I had taken a picture of the yellow iris that I found, I could create a document and upload that. You can see how to do that in the document adding video. Or if it's already in here somewhere and I know how to find it, I can click on Find Document and add it. The thing to remember for adding documents is that once you finish adding your fieldwork, if you have not added a document, you cannot go back and add it directly to the fieldwork. And you can only add one document. So if you need to send some additional pictures or information such as a report that is a little broader than what you can capture in the fieldwork event, just send that to your DNR AIS regional biologist and then they will take it from there. Then you can add fieldwork comments. So I could say we were just out kayaking and we happened to see this yellow iris blooming on the edge of the mill pond. Then I would click next and wait for the screen to open. Now I don't need to add any names. We're both in SWIMS, so they've got that information. I'll scroll through the which invasive species did you find list and find yellow iris. I didn't find any others. It was on, we'll call it a lake. The mill pond is like more of a pond. And I could say pond or wetland edge of pond. And again, where did I find it? Wetland edge. The default is put in too much information. Now, if I had grabbed a latitude and longitude, I could add it here so there would be more specific information. The amount of area covering, you've got a drop down here. So let's say I'm going to use square feet, and it was only covering about, let's say 6 square feet, about a 2 by 3 foot area. And then how many individuals were there? 5. Attached, yes, because it is a rooted plant and it was alive. And then the depth, that was not at depth, so it's not applicable. And then where was it located? There's several other options here too that you can also choose. So if the above isn't sufficient, you can choose one of these. So let's say that wetland edge was actually really muddy and mucky. I can choose that option. And then I come down and did I bring the specimen to the office? Well, yellow iris are not a prohibited species. They're only restricted. So I just took a picture. So I'm going to say did not take it. Photo taken, yes. And then I am a verifier, so I can put my own name in here. And then once that picture gets to Shelby Adler, who's the AS coordinator or biologist that covers Jefferson County, she can put her name in later as the second person to verify it. And she'd be able to click on next and enter the voucher results. So this is a very specific example for an AIS incident report, but other forms, as I said, would have different looking fields that you would fill out. So we've done this, so I'm going to save and return so we can see what it looks like. So this is the exact same view I would get if I clicked on View Data. It's all the data that I've had anything to do with, whether I've manipulated it or I have actually entered it myself and participated in it. And let's say I forgot that Nancy had pointed out there was also Eurasian water milfoil. I'm like, oh no, not that. So I'm going to click and edit that little green box with a pencil again. And it put me right into the same page where I originally entered my data. So all I have to do is click next. And then other invasives found, I could put in Eurasian water milfoil. And of course, I'd have to put in comments or something to clarify because this isn't going to work for both of those species because the one's in the water and one is up in the mud. So then when I'm done with that, I could click on Save and Return. So any of your fieldwork events, you can edit in that way. Now, if I'd clicked on the fieldwork number instead, this actually gives me more of a profile page for that fieldwork. Now, this is the trickier way to do it because when I click on Enable Edit here, I do not get that same form that I did my original data entry in. I can go ahead and edit things here, but then I have to remember to click Update, just like you do with any other type of profile. Then I can go down to the bottom. I could look at the field results, which is where all those little lines of information are. And I can edit from here, but it can be clunky. So let's say I was wrong. It wasn't yellow iris, it was purple loosestrife. And if I look here, well, how do I edit here? Well, I'll click on Enable Edit. Now, instead of having a drop down, I would have to go over to result value and type in purple loosestrife. Then I can update it and enable edit and update and back to field work. Disable edit. I don't even know where to go from here. So here's your other option instead of going through all that. You can click on enable edit, then click on edit with dynamic forms, and there you get that same view that you do if you clicked on the edit button in the first place. So good luck with that. If you get confused, if you have a problem, contact the DNR-AIS biologist or the SWIMS team. If it's very specific to a program such as AIS signage or Clean Boats, Clean Waters, reach out to the program coordinator and they're all happy to help you.